What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. Bro, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good because you said two gamers and I went like this, even though we're like opposite.
Nailed it.
I think that's where you are.
I want everyone to say nothing. I want everyone to be like, yep, Sheps,
Do you know what you should
you're doing
do?
it, you're doing it, Sheps.
You're doing it, Peter. You believe him.
And then, like, we find out when we're finally, like, we're old and grey, or we've decided to give this all up. We're like, let's just watch our last video just for fun. Fuck, I've been pointing in the wrong way. Why didn't you guys tell me?
If I was you, do you know what I would do is I'd just put black screen for those first 10 seconds on me. So like, I think I got it. And it was like, yeah, you got it, Chefs.
I don't know what happened to the video, man. It's just gone. And it happens sometimes.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that. But bro, how are you doing? How's life treating you?
Yeah, it's all right. It's good. We're finally coming up to summer, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys, terrible to live in the UK, but like I get SADS and it's seasonal affective, whatever. Basically, when it's grey and crap, like I feel crappy. Right. So I'm a summer guy. I want to live in forever summer land. I don't care about seasons. Oh, I like it. Fuck you. Get fricked.
People are annoying when they say they like seasons, like say like autumn and winter.
I like the winter.
This thing, you like the picture, the thing that you might see in a movie.
You
don't like living in it.
You like having a fire, being under a blanket with some hot chocolate. You know, yeah. Also, not in the UK, not in London, we don't get snow.
What, every now and again we get this
mud.
freak snow where it's like, oh yeah, it's good for one day, and then the next day it's just mud, crap. It causes endless traffic.
And halfway through the snow day, all the mud, it's all turned to mud because everybody's been using up. I feel really bad for kids these days though, because online school. Snow day. Mate, I straight up, my kid's not going to school on a snow day.
Yeah.
Isla's not going to school. If it's a snow day, sorry, I affect our internet. Bye.
And I didn't get the email that day. Oh no!
Whoops.
Oh no!
Yeah, nah. You gotta have snow days.
Come on, man, that's the whole point of that's what kids look forward to. It's like being sick. It's like, yeah, I get to stay home.
I know this is a gaming show.
Yes.
But you and I were talking earlier about how our new form of video games are not video games at all.
Yeah.
How I've been gamifying learning Python, and you've been doing woodworking. So just very quick, because it will go on the other Patreon exclusive for as little as $1 a month. I'm on Patreon.com/Conbrosations podcast. But how's the woodworking going, man?
Woodworking's going actually amazing. I started the new channel, like you guys may have heard in the last
It's doing
episode,
quite well as well. 100
Eddie's
views
Wood.
or so. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
And I've actually got people that have never met me before find my videos and give me tips. And I was like, this is amazing. This is exactly what I was looking for.
That's why I did the Twitch thing.
And it was so cool, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I got that feeling that you got when you got your people come by, but like, actually, it's C++.
Yeah.
Not C+++++. Whatever they said. I'm just making something up right now.
You know, as a seasoned coder, that joke was actually surprisingly intelligent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm accepted now in the nerd group. No, but the woodworking's going great. Everything's going well so far. I came across yesterday my first like complicated situation that it's taken me a while to figure out. It's not up on a video yet. It's something that's going to come in the future.
Okay.
But I was making a jig for something, and
I have a really
every time
dumb
I did
question.
it was like 4 times it was wrong, and I was like, "What am I doing wrong?"
I have a really dumb question.
Go on.
I weirdly, because I've done a bit of handy stuff, so I kind of know the answer is complicated. But how complicated can 2 bits of wood be?
Well, this is the thing, because what it is precision.
Okay.
And if you don't do things precise and in the correct way, it has like cascading effects.
Knock-on effect. Yeah.
So because this thing is the box cut, for those of you guys that don't know, it's essentially the way that you join 2 pieces of wood together. They look like fingers essentially, and they go like that, right? If you don't get this jig right, then you don't make that first cut right. Then the second cut also isn't right, and then they don't line up, and they don't go, or one's too deep and too shallow, and everyth's fucked up from there on out.
Yeah. I know half of that problem. I've never had a problem with going too deep. That's never been an issue.
It's
But,
never been an issue for me either. Here we are. But we're like, I was making the thing, and I thought to myself, all right, I'm going to make these things 15 centimeters deep, wherever it was. That should be enough. I probably don't need to go out far, but I can just use less if I need to. And I got the gauge. I went, all right, it's 15, 15, 15. Thought that'd be enough. Glue it together. Entirely wrong. Like it was like 14 and a bit, 15.2, and I was like, well, this isn't going to help because when I do the other side, it's not going to be on the same bit, and it's going to be completely different.
if you mess up a precise measurement, there's no way you're going to get a wrong measurement exactly reflected, because that was supposed to be uniform, and this is
exactly.
Cool.
I was like,
do you know what's funny is we're having very similar struggles.
Yeah,
it's just I'm doing Python stuff, you're doing woodworking, but like I'm like, take wood specifically out of it, and I'm like, this sounds exactly like what I was dealing with 2 days ago.
There you go. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to get this right. Fortunately, when it comes to wood, there's a lot of things that you can do to make things precise. So like, if you're cutting something on a table saw and you want it to be precisely 90 degrees, you can build what's called a sled, and then you can, it's got like a backboard that is 90 degrees to the blade, and then everything that you put on there is exactly 90 degrees cut. So there's things you can make, so you don't have to be like,
instead of having to measure it, you go, I made this thing to do this, so all I have to do is put it on this thing correctly, and it works.
Exactly. So, and that's the stage that I have to go a step backwards, build the thing to make it better to go. So I'm at that stage at the moment. It was getting a little frustrating for a little bit, but I worked through it. I'm feel proud about that.
That's good.
Pride. How's your coding going?
Weirdly enough, I hated this project, but we did make, this is a while ago, I hated every moment of it, was we made basically Pong.
Okay.
So I'm a game developer now. So when next time we talk about stuff,
indie game developer.
Just to be stupid,
we can talk about everything with authority now.
Do you know what?
As a game developer,
we just pull £100 out of the Patreon, I could be a Steam published game developer. I could put the worst game ever made up on Steam. And be an indie dev.
I want you to go around on Twitter giving people unsolicited advice and shit. Just about like
Steam developer, indie developer, and then pronouns dev eloped.
Oh fuck! Sorry, I had my hand at work drilling something and I clapped now. That is hilarious. I need you to do that.
It's only £100.
We need to get you Steam verified. Steam verified developer of it.
So, possibilities are endless.
You can weigh in on the whole like Helldivers thing we're going to talk about. Just jump in. As a developer,
but with the community, those two things aren't related, but I am a developer and have a community.
That's too funny.
Like I said, I think that might be one of the best £100 I've ever spent.
Yeah, facts.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, it's going good.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah. I'm glad for both of us that we're both like enjoying stuff.
It's funny because I don't view it as a different hobby. For some reason, I feel like it's my gaming time, and I feel like I'm gaming. It's strange.
It is strange, and I know we're at a bit of a maybe I'm entirely wrong. This is the problem. I'm scared to say it in case comments come at me, but we're at a little bit of a lull at the moment in terms of video games. There are good games out there to play.
Tons of great games.
Tons of great games. In fact, I still haven't finished Baldur's Gate. I'm really guilty about that.
Yeah.
I haven't finished the DLC from Cyberpunk. I'm guilty about that. But there's not like a brand new game coming out tomorrow that we're like waiting for, whatever. But I don't feel guilty that I'm not doing it, because this stuff is like, it feels like
video games.
It's the same feeling that I get from video games. It's that hobby. It's that fun, that excitement.
Yeah, for me, very much, especially also because we're both making content. Not me. I'm just turning a camera, like screen recording and putting a mic on. But
mine's just as bad.
Like, that's how we do stuff that we enjoy. So it feels like video games to me. Weirdly enough, though, I will say, have you watched the Fallout show?
Not yet.
It's really good. But I was on Steam.
I'm busy watching Justice League. Someone will say it, so I'm going to say it first.
I was on Steam because I'm obviously on the PC a lot more now. So I've bought a good few games on there. Same like everybody else, just all unplayed. Mostly because my video gaming is me coding instead of playing video games. But I bought a few things that look interesting and stuff like that. And Fallout New Vegas, which this is not a like controversial take. I think it's the best Fallout they made. And I love it. I think it's mostly the story. Like, you played Fallout 4, didn't you?
Yeah, but not. Do you know? I wasn't that like.
I didn't think you were super into it. No,
like
the big thing about Fallout 4 was that like the story. There's all these branches and they take you back. They always end up at the same like 2 or 3 actions, and New Vegas doesn't feel like that at all.
Okay.
So that's sort of the big thing. Like, your decisions feel like they matter. So I got that. It was like £3 or something. Totally worth it. I'm like, man, Now that there's like not a huge amount of stuff coming out, is a great time to like revisit those old titles that you enjoy or catch up on something you've been meaning to do and then haven't done it. But it's a great time to be doing it.
This is great.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'm the same as you. Like, I have been loving Baldur's Gate 3, like absolutely loving it, but I get to play it like once every 2 weeks. Yeah. I've scheduled time I'm a D&D nerd, and like every other weekend, every other Saturday is our game session. Not our game session, my session with those guys. So I tell my missus, like, this is D&D day.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have problems to this sort of thing. So I'll play Baldur's Gate.
Cut your finger off and you need to be driven to hospital.
You can
That's
walk.
a you issue.
You've got a bus pass. Ubers exist. And so I will literally do like 8 hours of D&D in one day, because I'll jump on Baldur's Gate 3 with one of the dudes I play D&D with, and we'll play like 3-4 hours of Baldur's Gate, and then we'll go and play D&D. The problem is Baldur's Gate is like 100-hour playthrough easily. I mean that in the best way possible. There's so much to do. So I also haven't finished that yet.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's not going to stop us from talking authoritarian.
Oh, of course.
Authoritatively.
We're authoritarians. We love those.
Over everyone that's watching this. Excuse me, as we have a developer right here, a Steam verified developer. We'll get on that so we make it true by the time this comes out.
What did I say? Is, you got like patent pending. Steam verified developer, but pending.
Pending, yeah. As a developer, right, he knows what makes a good video game.
It's true.
Okay, God. He's released literally a video game on Steam. Actually, you have to release it to say that.
I don't even know if you have to release it. You have to. I guess you do have to.
There's a lot of shit on Steam. Surely you could do it, right?
Oh yeah. That little crap Pong thing, I could put it up there. Probably no one would buy it. If you buy it, then it's actually a purchased product.
Shit. There we go. We got the loophole, boy.
Infinite money glitch.
Infinite money glitch. It's just
and then you can rate it. You be a verified purchaser. You rate it as perfect, 10 out of 10. It's 100%.
Because it is, yeah.
Yeah, 100% positive. And it's a sort of game, the game's so shit. It, all the walls, the ball, it's like a Pong game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't score. And I could add that, like if it hits the back walls, but it just bounces off any wall, anything in it will bounce. So it'll bounce off any of the 4 walls, you or the other thing. So it just bounce. And it doesn't keep scoring. So you could just leave it running for like 200 hours and be like, yeah, this game is 200 hours of people have played it. It's 100% rated.
I'll do it 200 hours. And then be like my review at 200 hours.
Yeah. Exactly, it's perfect.
You can't deny that this game is fantastic because I played for 200 hours.
It's amazing. Yeah, you just leave it as like a screensaver.
I think we found a flaw in the Steam review system.
Wait, online reviews are flawed?
Speaking of Steam reviews, let's kick it over to our first topic.
Only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, only 15 minutes in. The biggest news that's happened in the past 2 weeks. Helldivers 2 is done. It's trash. It's on fire. No one likes the game anymore, and rightly so. No, it's a terrible game, and it always was.
True.
Just, in retrospect, we just look back at it. Now we know that it's terrible. So a recent update happened. I'll read the Helldivers tweet and the update that they posted right now, so we know what's going on. Attention Helldivers. Due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to PlayStation Network accounts to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below this post. Account linking plays a crucial role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from the 30th of May and will be required to have a linked Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network's accounts are free and easy to set up using this link, and it gives the link. We understand while that this may be an inconvenience for some of you, this step will help us to continue to build a community that we are all proud to be a part of. Many thanks for your continued support of Helldivers 2, Sony Interactive Entertainment. And that very well-worded statement went down perfectly in the community, and there's nothing else to talk about. All right,
exactly.
Show, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
No, the exact opposite happened. All hell broke loose. The entire PC community were up in arms.
Yeah.
The Steam reviews currently right now, there's over 200,000 negative reviews been posted. People have posted pictures of asking for refunds from Steam. Some people have actually been given those refunds. A ton of things been going on. It's a massive blowout in the gaming community at the moment.
Yeah.
Partly because it's one of the best games that's come out in a recent while.
Yeah, absolutely. It had people like really passionate for in a way that they weren't for a long time. A lot of those people found something they could finally get their teeth into.
It was a very fun game. It came out relatively working well. Yeah. Microtransactions weren't very present, so it wasn't very predatory. Everyone was very happy about it.
Yeah.
And this statement, the way that people are acting is like as if they said, actually, you're adopted and I'm actually fucking your sister at the same time. What's the lowdown? What do you feel? How do you feel about this whole thing?
I think I know, but I want to know what you feel about it.
So, in the beginning, I was like, my God, this is an insane overreaction. I was like, it's just creating a little account. It's a minor hurdle. It's the Epic Game Store thing again, all over again. I'm like, it's just another launcher. It's not a big deal. Like, what you guys are... This is the thing. Bear in mind, I said, like, in the beginning, some of this is still true, what I'm about to say. The PC community are very, very, very easy to upset.
Yes.
They feel like they're
Even though they get games much cheaper... Yeah, go on.
They feel like they're better than everyone else when really they're just a different color.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a different color of gray. It doesn't. It's just the same thing, but just different. And you would think with how complicated PC gaming is in terms of you need to make sure your drivers are up to date, you need to make sure all your settings are there, how complicated it is to run your system and keep it virus free and all this stuff like that and make everything run on track for you to get the best experience. You'd think there'd be accustomed to a few hurdles every now and again, like pressing the Epic Game Store button instead of the Steam button, like creating an account for this person and connecting it one time. That's the only time you ever need to do it. You think they'd be accustomed to it, but they're not. They're very easily upset. However, then I started to like ask people, like, you know, what's your detail? What's your beef? Give me your actual reasons. I got about 20 responses. 15 to 16 of those were entirely bullshit. Yeah. They just felt like they were angry about something. I don't like it. Yeah. I don't like it. This is more for me to do. Yeah. I'm done. And then there was just a couple of responses in there that had a bit of validity to it that truly aren't affecting all the 200,000 people that commented on here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But they are true and legitimate issues. One of them being that PlayStation Network isn't available in every country. Yeah. In some countries it's banned, and as soon as you create the account and then you link it, your account is banned, so you can't play the game anymore.
Totally, that's a pretty good reason.
That's a legitimate reason. Now again, these 200,000 people that wrote the reviews,
not an issue.
They're like all in America, UK, all these places that completely are able to get an account. Yeah. It's the people in Indonesia that aren't even aware Russia, of this.
I think China maybe. No, China.
I think it is China, actually. I think China is one of them. But places that aren't affected by this. Now, there probably are like, a handful of people that are, and those people are valid. Yeah. They definitely deserve to play this game if they want to. Okay. So that was one of them. And the other one was, it feels like they're just doing it to like take your information so they can sell it and make money. And I was like, that's also true. Corporations do that and stuff like that. Yeah. And those were the responses that I got. And I was like, okay, because there are some valid arguments here, I'm going to soften my stance just a little bit. Cool. But not to the point that this is like, oh my God, I'm grabbing my pitchfork as well. I'm going to Sony headquarters tonight and I'm going to be banging on their door. Yeah, not even waiting until tomorrow. Banging on their door. But like, how dare you do this to us gamers?
Even though you're on PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm on the stance that this is firmly overblown.
Yeah.
Far too big of an overreaction, and in my opinion, an irresponsible overreaction as well.
Okay.
Because as gamers, we don't have a big voice.
True.
To companies, right?
If we had this response for, let's say, how Ubisoft treats its employees, as an example,
Like we're not buying the next Ubisoft game.
yeah.
Or when EA make a stupid another game.
I don't know. Maybe somebody buys Blizzard and fires all of its stuff, all of the things that made it Blizzard.
Right?
As an example, yeah.
Or EA makes another game that's got predatory microtransactions. If we just didn't buy their next game,
Yeah. Or the next COD or FIFA,
Right.
yeah.
I think it's highly irresponsible that we have this reaction to a game that is actually good, that everyone enjoys, simply because there's a bit of a hurdle in between.
Yeah.
I need to make an account. I don't want to make another account as well. It's annoying to have to make another account.
Yeah.
But we've done it for literally everything else in our lives.
Yeah.
People on Steam have done it for other Microsoft games. You need to make a Microsoft account. You want to play an EA game, you have to make an EA account. You want to play COD, you have to make an Activision account. You have to make an account for why is this one specifically the one where you have to burn everything to the ground? This is the worst thing in the world. I'm done.
Also, the flack got caught by Arrowhead specifically, and actually this is a Sony decision. Sony's the publisher.
Another thing, right?
So yeah.
Completely, all your anger has gone completely in the wrong direction. Maybe you've been saying Sony, but you've been taking the refunds from Arrowhead.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's not like Arrowhead haven't caught their flag. Their Discord burned to the ground pretty much within seconds. Worse than what happened when some idiot made a terrible Ezra Miller joke.
Right.
So I thought that's about where you would be. I thought you would have started this as like, shut up, you're all idiots. And then because you are you, and you will have asked people, well, okay, why are you actually annoyed? And at least one person with a valid response would have come back to you. You would have gone, yeah, okay, cool. So I guessed you were like 90-10. 90, this isn't a big deal.
My looks,
10,
I'm a reasonable person.
not just a hat rack.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I reckon you'd be about 90-10. 90, this isn't a big deal. 10, like, yeah, there's some valid stuff. Is that about right? Or would you say 80-20? Where are you about?
I'd say that is about right.
Yeah.
I'd say that is about right. Not to diminish the people that do have a legitimate problem.
Right. That 10's the top 10 of like complaints. Yeah.
Exactly,
Top 10. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm more on the other side.
Go ahead.
So
I was hoping for this. Actually.
yeah. So, but my beef is with a few things. So, for example, you mentioned what's just one more launcher. The issue with this, I think, and I do feel, and as again, I actually haven't played the game, not even once. I've never actually played HELLDIVERS. I think it's a great game. I've seen streamers play it. You talk about it highly. You didn't need it to begin with. Every other game, you need an account to start playing COD. You need an account to start playing Apex. You need an account to start playing these things, Fortnite, wherever it is. You didn't need it to start with. So now you have to do it in between, or they'll take it away from you. Yeah. Versus needing an account to get access. Now it's, we're going to take it away from you if you don't have the thing. But which I think that is more on the... It's true, and I don't like that. And I think that's the most reasonable emotional response, was you were taking this away from me. I didn't need it before. I have a huge beef about what they said. So, you said their reasonable statement. I think it's the most unreasonable thing ever.
Go ahead, hit me.
So, first of all, they're talking about...
Also, I think I was joking at that point. I was like, totally reasonable response. Here we go.
It's actually not... If you just read it, you're like, yeah, that is a pretty reasonable thing, except their claims aren't reasonable. So they say, well, it's for security, except they run Easy Cheat, I think it is. Easy Anti-Cheat, which is kernel level anti-cheat.
I've heard it's quite bad. Or whatever.
Kernel level anti-cheat means that it has access to... The kernel is all of your hardware and software at like hardware level. Okay. It has access to your entire PC to see what's on there. Yeah.
Oh, to see what's on there. Why would it want to see what's on there?
Well, so like, for example, I told you I got this Linux with hacking tools on it because someone was like, let's do hacking stuff. If it decides that's like a cheat, they just ban my account.
Oh, wait, I've heard actually. Yeah, some people were saying that they had mods for other games and they were getting banned because they had mods for other games, and it was like, scary cheat.
It has full access to your computer and can see everything on there. So
would it be less thing if they did it right and it didn't see those things as cheats at HELLDIVERS 2 though? Like, I think that would be that's stupid.
Well, so the thing
So their mistake is that they put a shit anti-cheat in there that
which isn't better or worse than any of the others. So if it's not better and it is worse for the user, why use it?
Yeah.
But the whole reason I mentioned that, because I don't like that as an anti-cheat, but Apex has it. I still have Apex on my computer. Is that they're talking about security. Well, either that works or it doesn't. If that works, then this linking doesn't make things any more secure because that works. Or you don't need access to my computer. And secondly, having signed up to the PSN, not the most notoriously secure place ever. PlayStation's constantly getting hacked.
That was something that I heard as well. And I was like, I feel like PlayStation's hacks are the most infamous. But they're not the only ones that get hacked.
They aren't at all.
Steam gets hacked.
But their claim is that it's to keep you safe and secure.
Yeah, it's a bit hard when you're like, you're a security guy. It's like, don't worry, I'm going to protect
safe
this bank.
And secure.
Sleeping on the job every day.
Right, exactly. And so that's...
I've been robbed 4 times this month.
That's probably my biggest issue is they say, well, it's for security. But why? And also, if it's a free account and it's free to play both to join the PSN and to join Helldivers, how does that stop anyone making a new account? So that specifically is why I don't like it. So I would say I'm probably 60-40 of 60, it's not that big of a deal, but 40 actually it is. I don't like what you're saying, right? Like there's no need for the PSN thing. It is an inconvenience. And I am on that side of, I wish for the days where it was just Netflix as an example. And now, like, if you want to watch all the shows, you need Prime, you need Hulu, you need Disney Plus, you need Stars, you need Premiere, you need all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. It's inconvenient. But I think the two big things are, one, their argument of what keeps you secure, obviously bullshit. Like, that's obviously not true. And they're just trying to get around people not liking it by saying, frankly, a lie. By saying, well, don't complain because here's a really good reason. Doesn't apply, but this is a really good reason it's hard to combat. And people didn't need one for like 4 months. And now you have to sign up to continue the thing. That's worse. That is the emotional side, and the argument of it's for security. It's obviously not true. I don't like that.
Do you know what the stupid thing is that I'm wired to do the devil's advocate thing.
Yeah, go for it, bruv.
I always try to think about like, okay, what could the conversations be behind the scenes? Because we're obviously never going to get all the conversations.
No,
you can never get all the conversations because it's always going to be one person or one entity against the world. So how do you have that conversation with every single person? But I'm thinking, what if the situation was back in the day that they were trying to convince Sony to be like, okay, let's not make an account sign up thing. Instead, we'll use this anti-cheat software. And then the anti-cheat software proved not to be that great.
Yeah,
so then they were like, okay, well, you tried. It didn't work. So we're going to go back to our decision.
My big beef is from the Sony side as well, is that, well, first of all, all the flack's going to Arrowhead. It should be going to Sony, rightly so. Secondly, and also I think Arrowhead's like some of their staff put out things and that weren't ideal, but like as if no one's ever said something stupid.
Right.
Whatever. Right. I'm actually going to ignore that. I don't count.
Yeah.
Unless it was like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, no, I don't really care. Especially because people, when they read it, were immediately emotional. It's going to look worse because you already.
And the thing is that the people that are decent are going to be the ones that kind of like stay quiet. And the ones that are lunatics are going to be the ones that be like, you called me what? You called me a dick sucking what?
Yeah, actually, I said,
all I said was thank you, valued customer.
Yeah.
What?
So, like, from my perspective, I think. The only benefit to Sony for having people sign up to a PSN is to have all these emails that they can then market to. But Sony's awful at marketing their own products. What they would be better off doing is just run a Sony ad at the very beginning. You know, when it boots up, like the old PlayStation logo, when you turn a PlayStation on. Do that. Remind everybody, hey, this is a PlayStation product. Yeah. There's other amazing PlayStation products, unless you want to wait 3 years and eventually comes to PC. 3 years later...
somebody actually mentioned this was another good point that added to the thing is that Sony are just asking people to sign up to for a free account so they can then fluff their numbers when it comes to like board meetings or the next investor meeting to say, look, we gained 10 million more active users. And it's like, fuck, that's probably what they're doing. That's the biggest argument of this whole thing. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's stupid. But I will also say, although I'm much more strongly against this idea, I'm 60-40. I'm like, overall, if I was playing Helldivers and loving it as much as you have, and I was on the PC, and yeah, I'm a Sony pony. I already have a PlayStation, but I just click the button.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is all these arguments, right? We're putting all the stuff, we're putting them out there, blah, blah, blah. This is what happens in the real world. And this is unfortunately what a lot of people are doing. It's just the crybabies online that you hear the most about. But this is what's going to happen. That link was right there. Click the link. Create new account.
The thing you have to ask is like
email address, name, choose a password. All right, now I'm back into Helldivers.
That's it. Had everybody who enjoyed Helldivers started out and gone, well, you need to make a free PSN account to play it, they would have done it and enjoyed the game as much as they have. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, I don't like how they've approached it. I really don't like it. It's for your security. No, it's not. Because you have kernel level anti-cheat that isn't better or worse than any other, making me sign up to a platform that has been, you know, done over a few times. Like, it's not for security. Just say, like, look, it's an inconvenience. We totally understand this was always the way, but because of the server instability at the beginning, we decided to get rid of it because it was a potential flaw. You're always supposed to have it. You know, we
I still
need you
don't
on
think
it.
that would go down well.
I don't. No, I agree. But like lying about it is stupid.
Oh, it's
But I think if you like the game, and here's what my question would be, is if you had to have the PSN sign up at the beginning, would you have not played it? And the answer to that maybe one Xbot,
one person
is going to be, no, I would never have played it. Okay, fine. But
most people.
But the problem is that's logical. The emotional response is, well, I need it. I didn't need it before. I need it now. And I get that. But yeah, it's not a big deal. And you've got 15 other signups to that same dump email that doesn't have anything important on it. Yeah. Like, I get, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And I know that there are big voices that feel the opposite way. I've been watching a lot of Pirate Software stuff.
Apparently, yeah. I saw
He's
a clip
way
of him.
against it.
Well, the problem is that I haven't seen his full explanation. I saw a clip of him saying it. There wasn't a reason in it.
It was the same.
It was the same stuff that you see from all the other PC players online. It's like, I don't need it. I don't want it.
Yeah. And
I'm like, no, you do need it to play, but you don't want it. Okay. So what's the reason? Yeah. And I was like, I thought he would have at least come up with the reason.
His understanding, and not understanding, his point is that I don't like all these sign-ups and I didn't need it before, so I don't need it, so you shouldn't be implementing it. It's more things for me to do, and I don't want to have to do this thing, which I do understand. And specifically from the perspective of you were allowed to do it before, so this is a change, right? But my argument is, and I don't care, either side, is that if you would have needed it to start, you would have done it and you would have enjoyed the game as much, if not more, or as much, right? You wouldn't have had this downturn, so more, right? So it's not that big of a deal. That's my perspective. But I also hate the constant need for signups for everything, the 15 email addresses and passwords you got to remember, and that, you know, you had access before, so it's not needed, but now you do have to have it. That sucks. And the reason given is security. Well, it's not true. That's not true, right? Like, and
you just want to fluff your goddamn numbers.
Exactly. And if this had always been part of the plan, it should have been a constant reminder in comms, which is that, by the way, this grace period, because I don't think this was ever like loudly said.
No, apparently it was in a
I'm sure it's in the T's and C's somewhere.
But like, it was in the T's and C's somewhere.
But like,
some people have said it was front and center. Some people have said it was buried in the T's and C's. I don't see this being a thing where it's like right at the beginning. It's like, by the way, in 4 months we're gonna need you to do this. So
yeah, I feel like this is something you say, hey, by the way, guys, this is a PlayStation product, and we initially were going to require sign up, but because of all the instability issues we had, we waived that.
Yeah.
And you should know it's coming up in 2 months' time that's going to come into effect. Hey, in a month's time, this thing's going to come into effect. Hey, in 2 weeks' time, don't forget, if you still want to play Helldivers, like it is a Sony product. We are owned by Sony, or we're run by Sony, or this game is published by Sony. It is required. It
needs to be said right at the beginning, otherwise there would have been no difference.
Yeah. But equally, how could you have known a little email sign up was going to cause this? You couldn't. And what bothers me a lot is, Arrowhead, and bearing in mind, I'm more on the side of this is a bad move.
Yeah.
Arrowhead did everything else right. They didn't do the microtransactions. They did the content right. We were singing their praises, and this isn't a cyberpunk level thing. This isn't bringing out the most anticipated game of all time ever, and it doesn't work at all. With none of the stuff that was promised, exactly what they promised came out. They over-delivered. They underperformed. They continued to...
Over-delivered.
That's the right one. They under-promised and over-delivered. They continued to under-promise and over-deliver. And now, the thing you were supposed to need from the beginning is required. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
That's my that's my core takeaway, and that's the thing that I've been saying after I heard everyone's arguments. What I said online, I was like, I really think the review bombing of the Steam thing to make it seem like this game is a piece of trash right now is completely irresponsible on our part. Like I said, we have very little voice in the gaming community. We can say things, but by and large, those businessmen are going to do whatever the fuck they want up there. And we have really not much to say about it. Sometimes we have an effect, but they're so rare, so rare. And using our voice to trash, to dunk on a good game, not a game that's come out half-baked, not a game that's riddled with microtransactions, not a game that's trying to rape and pillage, to use it on a good game, that's where I think we're fucked up as gamers.
That's my big beef as well, really.
And unfortunately, we've got this as well.
The only voice we ever come together to express is to whine about a thing that ultimately isn't that big of a deal.
Right. And again, the affected party is a good development company.
Yeah.
That's the bit that bugs me the most. And the fact that it doesn't bug some people is what grinds me a bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I can't... Like, with all the arguments, I sat there and I was like, all right, I hear that one. Yeah. That one's a bit weak. I don't know about that one. I sat there, reasonable person. I feel like everyone else isn't a reasonable person. It's like I hate to bring it back to this again, but with our frustrations with like the Justice League movies and all stuff like that, it's like sometimes people are just yelling to be part of the yelling.
Yes.
And don't see the ramifications of what goes on beyond that.
There are people that go to football matches that don't care, that still chant.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Right.
They don't care who wins. They don't like the sport, but everybody else is chanting and they want to make noise, so they make some noise. That's it.
They feel appreciated by the other weirdos around them.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. No, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. It's like, yeah, but what are you doing? You idiot.
Right. Yeah. What exactly?
It's just... And what's really funny is that I saw someone pitch this, so I stole this message when I was speaking to someone else. The time it takes for you to change your positive review to a negative review and to request your refund.
Yeah, I bet.
In that time, you could have made yourself PlayStation Network account and continue enjoying the game that you've loved for 300 hours already. It's like...
Yeah, exactly.
It just... When you put shit into perspective, it's like, fuck. This is so dumb. Yeah. Why are we like this?
And again, like, if people are saying, well, I only have the one email, well, you shouldn't have one email. Emails are free. You should have one specifically for dump stuff like this, for stuff that it's not secure. You don't have it backed up to your real email. It's not connected to your phone. It's just there for you to sign up. You know, it should be like my name 69420 at hotmail.co.ru.cm.whatever. And you log into it once, get the code, sign on, you never have to do it again. That's what it should be. Also, most of these people, like same with me, watching Pirate Software, whereas if my Amazon account's not linked to my Twitch and my PSN, like you link accounts to things all the time. So again, it's where it comes in the life cycle. It should have been done at the beginning, and that's the problem.
If it had been, no one would have batted
an eyelid.
That only makes it worse, unfortunately, for me, because no one would have cared then, and they do care now. It's like, why?
Because I suppose the issue is, actually, I was going to say, well, you were using a thing, and now you have to use it. You have to sign up to a thing. Equally, this has been the best free trial ever, and you didn't have to purchase anything additional.
Yeah, and
I suppose that's
and you're still going to get to enjoy it.
People bought the game.
Yeah.
It's not a free game. It's not free to play. People did buy the game, and if they don't sign up to this thing, that it'll be taken off them.
That's what we should have mentioned that at the beginning. We've gotten so far in the conversation. That's pretty shitty. Because granted, it was in the terms and conditions when you purchase the game, blah blah blah. But now I can't enjoy the game if I don't do this. Yes, it's a small thing, but I can't enjoy the game that I paid for.
Right, and from that perspective, I get the idea of, okay, we'll refund. I'm going to refund. And then 2 weeks later, you know what, I miss playing Helldivers, but now I know I can purchase it knowing I need something sort of thing. But no one's going to do that. They're going to, well, I had to sell it, blah, blah. But, you know, equally, people saying, how do I refund? I've played like 300 hours. It's not against things. Well, I told someone, I think Steam would probably honor it if you were allowed to play without a third-party sign-up, and now it requires one.
Yeah.
Even if it was in the T's and C's, it wasn't required to start playing, and it's well past any like free trial period or, you know, however things work. I think they'd probably honor that.
I did see some people get Steam refunds.
Yeah.
However, I don't know the context behind it. It could be that they're in one of the places that doesn't allow a PSN account. It could be some extenuating circumstance. Yeah. Maybe they didn't even have it in the first place and they bought it and then refunded it to show everyone so they can get clout online, which is totally possible in today's age.
That's the thing people do.
Exactly.
That's the thing people do. Yeah. I refunded it. How many hours you got on it? Mate, all the hours, don't worry, but I refunded it.
There was numbers next to the hours.
It's literally infinite.
It couldn't track it. It just went back to 0. Oh, it sucks that we're in a world that does that.
I get, the thing is, people like to be offended by things. They like to be upset, and this gave people that feeling of righteousness. And it's like going to work and your boss gives you non-stop crap, and then you come home and your mum, who's looked after your whole life, makes one mistake and you lay into her.
Oh yeah.
Right? Instead of giving it to the person that's really causing you stress in your life.
That's why you get a wife and then you lay into her.
Exactly. That's why we invest in wife beaters.
Exactly.
You know, like this is a studio that's looked after its people. It's looked after its user base. It's developed and delivered a great product. And this is a thing that it was supposed to have, which for whatever reason, I don't like being lied to. I really don't like it. It's for security. It doesn't keep you any more secure or whatever. It doesn't help with the cheat. You already have a very invasive anti-cheat anyway. Very popular one. I think Fortnite uses it. Apex uses it. So it's not like it's nothing new. It's something new, but it's very invasive. And saying it's for security when you're linking to a kind of notoriously insecure platform, not that the others are more secure, but Sony has been hacked plenty of times. Like, don't lie. Just say, look, we waived it because there were server issues at the beginning. It's always been intended to be this way. You know, sorry, right? Or you just say, look, it's always been intended to be this way. Your options are this. If you don't have the Sony account signed up, the next patch, you're getting a Sony ad every time you boot the game up. It's unskippable.
There you go.
Right? And any new signups are going to require the PSN. Boom, fuck you. You know? Like, who cares? That's what I would do. I'd make it egregious as well. I'd be like, this is a Sony product made by Sony. This is all the, like, roll the credits. Like,
the worst Sony ads ever.
Yeah. And then you can skip this by signing up to PSN. Or like you have the skip button there, and then when you click it, and it goes, skip button only accessible with PSN account.
Sign up to PSN account, skip this.
Right, exactly.
Just 2 clicks away, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it sucks mainly because, like I said, it's the wrong target getting the wrong amount of flack. There's way too much hate and vitriol going to Arrowhead, who, by the way, it's a Sony decision, and Arrowhead's treated people right.
Yeah, they've done everything right. They've done everything right, and they're the ones that
except letting developers say stupid things. Like, you shouldn't, you know, that should have gone through some PR, someone to vet, but as if companies don't make mistakes.
I was gonna say, Phil Spencer says dumb things all the time, and then that just gets through. Like, we don't need to make good games, okay?
Right. Yeah,
we could never. Gaming company's about,
right? Or, you know, as if the other, like, these are the things you could be angry about. Ubisoft and the way it treats its people and just craps on you and under-delivers and doesn't care about your time. Yeah. Microsoft purchasing everything, firing everyone, and then what do they bring you? Starfield.
Yeah.
Or Arrowhead, whose publishers said, hey, you need that sign up now.
Oh.
Like, we're
so fucked as gamers, man. Just we can't. Again,
it's inconvenient. It sucks, and there are definitely those issues. Locations where we can't have a PSN. You didn't require it before, and you did buy the game. Like, I get it. I get it. But like, they're acting as if all these people who are like, well, I don't want to do it because it's not secure. You're not. Like,
Donald Trump or Biden. Like, no one, like, you're not some super secret, Mr. Robot hacker that needs to keep it. You're a dude. You're just a brer, and you're giving it a fake email with nothing interesting. If that email gets hacked, do you know what you do? You make a new PSN account. Like, that's it. That's it.
Or even just exactly, make another account.
They're free. You churn them. Who cares? Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing. And I'm still 60-40. I still think, like, overall, it's not a big deal. But the 40%, I hate being lied to. I totally see we didn't actually need it before. So obviously it's not necessary to play, which I get that, which means that it would be taking access away from somebody that purchased a game. And if it was like God of War, if they said, hey, if you ever want to play God of War again.
This is an interesting one. If it was like God of War, Spider-Man, I wonder if people were like, oh, it's nothing for such a great game or something like that. That only adds to the hypocrisy of everything. That's the thing.
Again, that is to say in the middle. So, like, let's say you get halfway through your God of War thing and then that's the time.
True.
And they say, hey, look, I know you bought the game and you passed the refund thing, but if you want to play this, you're going to need to make a Steam account.
Yeah.
Why am I a PlayStation user? Well, you're going to need one. Like, that sucks. Like, and like in that case as well, I would say, I might consider refunding. I probably would, but like, we're not. But it's not like, well, that's it.
Yeah, I wanna be more leaning towards where you are. It's just unfortunately because I know how the internet is.
Yeah, people got way too emotional, way overreacted. It is an overreaction. There is a reasonable reaction. There's a reasonable amount of, well, look, I paid for the game, and these changes aren't going to make a positive impact, and you're going to take away my access to the product that I paid for if I don't do it. Like, imagine you buy a car and they go, if you don't buy this DLC, you can't use your car anymore, right? Like, I get that. So I don't like this. I think it's a bad idea. And I'm going to refund. Not, well, that's it. Arrowhead, worst guys ever. You can't trust anyone.
And I'm going to advertise it to everyone. And I'm going to leave a negative review to make sure that no one else comes to this game and buys it. Because this is going to make me somehow better. And this is...
Or equally, like a lot of these things, these are predatory, blah, blah, blah. They lied to us. Or you go and you go, right, changing my review, negative. Really enjoyed this game. It's fantastic. But... by requiring this thing, it takes away my access to a game I've already paid for and already had access for, which I don't like, and therefore I'm refunding, so I'm leaving it a negative review because of that. Otherwise, I love the game, I
want to have a quick look at some Steam reviews.
I mean, like, I was talking on the stream previously, I think, or maybe I was watching somebody stream, they were playing something. I was talking to Mario. He was playing Dark Souls or something like that.
Yep.
And I was saying, I just hate these games. And he was like, have you tried them? And I was like, yeah. I played Elden Ring. Sifu, I thought Sifu's excellent. 8 out of 10. Fucking hated it. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I hated it. I hated the experience. He's like, so why'd you give it an 8 out of 10? I was like, because I think it's a brilliant game. And he's like, no one ever does that. I'm like, yeah, well, it's a brilliant game. It does some really interesting stuff. I love the art style. I think it's a fantastic... I hated the experience.
Terrible.
Yeah, I hated it. I'd recommend it, 8 out of 10. If you like that sort of game. But nobody thinks about stuff like that. I knew this would be a reasonable conversation because, of course, you're going to say, I don't think it's a big deal. Wait, hold on a minute. What are your problems with this? And, of course, people come back to you, and most of it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Mostly it is bullshit.
People...
I think our big thing is, like, if it was required at the beginning, when it was required at the beginning, if you'd had to do it at the beginning, you would have done it and it wouldn't have been an issue. The only real issue is that they let you use a product that you've paid for. Like I said, that car analogy, they let you buy the car, you have it for 2 months, and they go, by the way, if you don't buy this extra, now that you've got the car, you won't be able to use the car anymore. Right? Yeah, cool. Like, I do think people would have a more reasonable response. If this was Tesla doing that, this would be a more reasonable response. But it's not that big. And otherwise, there's no, Arrowhead's done everything right and treated the players right, And for the inconvenience of having to sign up to another email thing, for the hundreds of hours of fun that you've had, I think it's not that big. It's a big deal. I don't like it, but it's not that big of a deal. You're not signing up your firstborn child.
Yeah.
You're making a 2-second account on a throwaway email.
Just the consequences going forward. I wonder if anything could happen. Obviously, we can sit here and hypothesize about ridiculous things all the way up to like, Arrowhead shutting down or something like that.
This is the thing as well.
Let's say, like, the biggest thing that I always say is that businessmen don't really know what the fuck is going on in the gamer's mind. They don't understand us. The only thing they understand is money. So by getting all of those refunds, maybe they say, all right, Helldivers 2 clearly is a crap product and isn't something gamers want. And now we have to pivot away from whatever Helldivers is.
That's what I was going to say. They'll look at the end of year. They'll look at the end of year P&L and go, well, Helldivers didn't do very well, did it? It only made this. You're like, hold on a minute.
That's the message that you've sent them, and that's just the thing that you're just not thinking about.
And the other thing is, like, do you back down? And I'm not talking about Arrowhead, I'm talking about Sony, right? If Sony back down, the toxic people will win and they never let you be sorry. Toxic, like...
Coming from a Snyder fan here, both of us, that is a bad place to go down.
There's a reason that,
you
like...
get the Flash, you get Shazam, Fury Gods, you get the...
And they won't... The ones that are toxic, they won't let you be sorry. They won't let Arrowhead apologize. They won't let Sony apologize. So they'll keep their negative reviews, even if they get the game again or don't refund. The negative reviews will stay. And I don't think a lot of people will return. They're too emotional about it.
It becomes part of their personality, unfortunately. So weird to say.
Right.
It becomes part of them. And when other people reinforce it as well, it's just like, that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
That's where they got a positive reaction.
And this can't do a Cyberpunk. Like, Cyberpunk was so broken and there was so much missing from it that now when it all works and, like, it's such a different product now. But I don't see Helldivers really... I see the
they can't
missions,
change anything.
Like the missions that you're doing change. That's what keeps people engaged.
Make a whole new game for something else. Like,
you can't.
Entirely different. I mean, it's not even broke. It's good in it. So what do you do? It's... Oh.
Yeah, so they're in a really tough spot. And if they don't back down, then people are going to keep leaving. But so...
I actually don't think it will go that way.
Okay.
Unfortunately, on the side of, like, I'm saying unfortunately because it means that then corporations win in this.
I hate, and this is the big thing: is the real enemy is corporation.
Exactly.
I hate corporations.
I don't like that fact, but because it is an overreaction, in my opinion, they do need to stay the course. And I do think because it is an overreaction, that eventually people will understand that it is an overreaction.
Yeah.
They won't be vocal about it, but they'll be silent about it, and then they'll just be like, let's continue playing.
That always happens. It'll be like, news headline, this guy's the murdered kids, and then like 3 weeks later, tiny little thing, actually we were wrong, he's totally innocent. You know? So it's always that way, isn't it?
I'm just gonna double check the
I'm curious to see what some of these are. I bet some of these are just like
the reviews are just terrible. They're like, oh, I'm doing my part, and it's like a negative review. The automaton, some of them are funny, like Sony have joined the automatons. That's quite funny.
That's quite good, yeah.
Not giving Sony my information, and stuff like that.
Like what information?
And again, the review this doesn't reflect bad on Sony. This reflects bad on Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
So now people think the game is shit. I want to know how many people are playing the game still.
That's the thing as well. Is like I've seen, funnily enough, watching like Pirate Software, where he'll come to a game and be like, I heard they made all these big changes, and then he'll check the reviews and be like, oh, mixed. 60%.
Yeah.
It's because it got bombed like this. Now, maybe that makes the people make the game good, but a game that's good with a 60 or 70% review rating isn't going to get any more success.
No.
Because people think it looks crap because it only has a 60 or 70% like rate ratio, right? Because these people bombed, and most of these people will not flip their review to good again. Yeah. They won't go, this was a significant issue, it was handled in, for whatever reason, it's been resolved the way I like, and I'm really supportive of that, and I want the company to do it. No one's going to do that. Or for every one that does that, there'll be 10 that stay negative, you know?
So a couple of days ago, the peak was 119,000 people playing on Steam.
Yeah.
Guess what the peak was yesterday? 114,000. So 5,000 people have left off of the peak of this game.
And this is on Steam.
On Steam, so the place where they're actually complaining. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think
the game's still good. People still love the game. I
think the people that are shouting, there's a lot of echo chamber going on. There's a lot of also people jumping on the bandwagon. Unfortunately, when it's Twitter, it's all engagement farming now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So half the people that are on there don't actually believe what they're saying. They're just saying it because they know you want to hear it.
Yeah.
And they know you click like and give a random comment. I don't want to devalue. I don't want to put down anyone else's opinion.
There are some good criticisms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make the people feel, oh, here we go. So they actually marked it on SteamDB where the account linking update dropped Friday the 3rd of May. And there's been no difference. There's been no difference.
Oh, the player base. I mean, see, this is the thing. The reviews are going to drop to the ground.
The reviews dropped to the ground, but
and the player base,
the amount of people
untouched.
playing has not changed at all.
Yeah.
At that point, it was 115, and it's 114 at its peak yesterday.
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, because the game is good, and the developers treat the gamers right.
Yeah.
And that's the key focus. And like I said, it's not that huge of a deal. This is... Especially if, let's say, Steam will honor refunds based on this, then this has been the best free trial period of all time. You know? Not giving so much information. What, because Steam's never been hacked? Steam, you know, your information's in all these other places that have all had breaches. I don't know, it's just...
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more to say. Now, if we've missed something... Let me know. There's definitely...
Feel free to leave a Steam review on Helldivers.
Yeah, exactly. Or definitely not my game. That needs to be 100%.
Oh, yeah, we need to leave.
Yeah. But, like, I think if we've missed a point, and if you're just going to say, well, I don't like it, like, I get it. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that, but you're not adding to the conversation. If we've missed a point or a perspective, maybe there's a more middle ground or a much more negative perspective that we haven't seen. But, you know... And like we said, like this, it's not unreasonable to refund. It's not unreasonable. What is unreasonable is to have all of this, to take our voice and use it on this, which isn't that big of a deal, versus, you know...
All the other terrible things.
Yeah, there's some actual awful stuff that's happened. We haven't done anything, and then people will rally around this. Equally, for you to be this emotional about it shows how good the game is.
Yeah, right? People cared enough to get off their gamer chairs.
Exactly.
No, they're still sitting in their gamer chairs, to be honest. And they still got the crust and the...
All I'm saying is,
it
was an online sign-up. It's not like they required you to have a shower. Do you know what I mean? That's an impossible task.
That's too much for you guys. I get it.
For a PC gamer? Like, come on.
Come on now.
Remove all that protective layer of grime and grease? No.
If we were bigger, we'd be getting attacked right now.
100%. Why do you think I did it? I'm looking to salt mine.
Come on, we get like, some of that.
Honestly,
we can do a Helldivers. We can salt mine this.
Exactly. They should open a salt mine map.
Could you imagine if they just did that in the Discord server? Salt mine. Like, and now everyone's in there. They're mocking us. Oh!
Like, this is the thing. I genuinely, if we've missed a perspective, I want to know about it, because maybe we should be more 50-50.
Maybe.
You know, and I'm more extreme on the I don't like this side than you, and I'm still like, it's not a huge deal. I don't like it. I'd probably do it, but this review bombing, it's not helping, and the game's still the game. So let me know. I think we've covered everything. I don't think we're missing a perspective here.
I think we're pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right. I did want to load up Discord, but it's been... it's opened up.
It's probably got 1,000 updates for you.
It was a lot of updates.
Are you loading up their Discord?
We dive together. We won't dive in Helldivers. There's just a ton of comments going by there. The game literally asked you to link at the start. You can skip it. Community managers scumming us. Didn't believe them. They were affected by the Sony automatons. We're trying to say this automatons, but it didn't really work.
Yeah.
Oh no, people here don't use common sense. It's just a hate bandwagon. Well, there are some logical people in there.
Yeah.
And
also, I feel like we're coming from the perspective of like, we are sort of Sony ponies, in the sense that we have the PlayStation. It's our primary console. We enjoy it. We like the products that they give us. But I don't like Sony as a company. As a corporation, I don't care. I like they give me a good product. That's why I like, quote unquote, like them. You know? So...
Mr. Blahboy in here, I want to give him the
shout out.
I want to give him a shout out. He did say, "I hope we don't kill the game for Arrowhead though," and someone replied going, "We did. We 100% did."
Yeah.
I don't think you did. Don't worry about it because we've seen the numbers.
Yeah, the player numbers.
But I love that someone gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I love someone gives a fuck because, again, we have such little power. If we use it to kill a good game, I'm going to be so angry with us.
And also, you look at
so fucking angry.
You look at the Steam numbers. Untouched, the player base is untouched.
Yeah.
Except all this negativity is going to go to shareholders, going to go to the suits that make decisions. Well, your game is in the newspaper, so everybody's saying how bad it is.
Yeah.
Well, people are still playing it, right? So does that affect them negatively, or does that give the suits at Sony permission to just do shitty things? But they go, look, we screwed these guys over. Look how much they hated it, and look how much it changed things. Not at all, right? Like this is not the fight. This isn't the one. This isn't it. There's tons of stuff that Sony has done that's crap that should have been. This should have been the response, but people just go quietly. That's not good. One YouTube video here or there. This is going to have YouTube video, people making content on it for 2 weeks, and we've gone 30 minutes, 40 minutes talking about this.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just, it sucks. It sucks. It's the wrong. Arrowheads are the one that's going to suffer. A developer that really cared and did all the right moves.
Yeah.
All for a sign up to an email that most people have anyway. Does it not require a PSN sign up to play any of like Spider-Man and?
Because they're single player games, I don't think they require.
Probably not.
Because
Yeah.
it's an online one, there's a bit more emphasis on security.
Would be interesting to know if there's any other. Are there any other games with online stuff?
This is actually recently. Ghost of Tsushima's coming out.
Yeah.
And obviously because this happened, they were like, "Oh my god, are you going to require us to slit our throats as well?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not going to require you to give a sign up to a free account. That's going to take a minute.
But I think they should.
Well, they said this, but if you want to play online,
Another one.
I forgot what the fuck they were called. The online mode, Legends, whatever it was, then you do require everything. No one's saying anything about that. I guess because it's at the beginning as well. So
funnily enough, Ghost of Tsushima, the game that everybody screamed about when they brought out the update, and which I was asking for, and they way over delivered. I was asking, I would pay money just for the I think it was just haptic was all I was asking for. I was asking, I'd pay a tenner for just haptic updates.
Yeah.
And they gave us an island, they gave us extra DLC, they gave us increased FPS, they gave us a new mini game. It was gorgeous. It was incredible. So, like, we're always, again, on the right side of this thing. I don't think we've ever missed.
I don't think we've ever missed.
I know you and I for sure have never said anything wrong.
Mate,
or upset anybody.
My lips only utter the truth.
Facts.
And if the truth offends you, then no. All right.
What's our next topic?
Our next topic is that there is a rumored showcase going to be happening this month.
Okay.
And I feel like it's long fucking overdue because we haven't had a solid showcase. But you know what's really funny? We've had some Xbox showcases in between.
Yeah.
I'm worried it's because I've not been keeping my ear to the ground, but I feel like I have been looking out so I can find topics for this show.
Yeah.
And there's just been no word online.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a crap anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
They just said, and I don't know if someone might say, well, that's because they're going like third party because now everything's going over to every platform. No one cares. It's like, maybe, but they got to put themselves in that position. That's why.
Yeah,
they
like did this to themselves. Yeah.
And anyway, PlayStation needs to come up with something. We need to get some updates. We need to get updates on some really key stuff. Like, we don't know. There was that leaked Wolverine game that we saw lots of footage for. I feel like it's time we see something about that now because
it's not official.
We need to see it in its official capacity. I'm still strongly, because I'm still the God of War fan that I was last year. I'm still hoping there's going to be something more from God of War Ragnarok, something that will tie up all those loose ends. Ghost of Tsushima 2, we still need to see that. That's been so long, man.
Please.
Every time I see someone playing the game again and I see the intro, I'm like, God, when is 2 coming out? When is 2 coming out?
I love that game so much.
God. And then there's all those live service games that they've talked about, like the Concord game, the one from Bungie, which I can't remember what that was called as well.
God. Yeah, no, I know the one you mean.
That futuristic looking one.
Yeah. It looked quite good. Well, it looked okay.
Aesthetically, it looked good.
Yeah.
This is an extraction shooter, which I think is Helldivers technically an extraction shooter?
Yeah, I feel like Division is probably the best version of that. But yeah, I'd say.
And I had fun with both of those games. So,
Yeah, a lot.
So maybe this would be something good. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
And we just need to hear more stuff about it.
The big problem, especially, I mean, it's less Sony's problem, but the big problem for us is from about 2020 to like late 2023, we had so much. So much, and so we got fat on gaming news and stuff to look forward to, and now it's been a few months of just not that. And which, don't get me wrong, like Helldivers has come out in that time and all that stuff, so there's been stuff to do, but in terms of the news, like, we are kind of starving for it.
Yeah.
But it's not because I don't even think this year's been particularly quiet overall. It's just that the 2 or 3 years prior to this have been so busy that it feels like we got nothing, you know?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
All good?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So yeah, I think I can't tell if this year is quiet or it's just that we're coming off the back of some wild years.
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of both. We're getting a little quiet. Like, there's really nothing left on the slate from Sony anyway. There's nothing on the slate for the rest of the year. And I don't think there's many other games that I've heard of. Maybe Star Wars Outlaws, which another Ubisoft game.
Yeah, and I've made my opinions clear on it. It just feels like it's sort of phoning things in to tick boxes. So it's like, oh, laser swords, yes. Laser bolts, yes. Female lead, for what reason? Female lead, tick. Female lead. Yeah. Like,
I just hate the fact that when I saw the different editions and how expensive they get and what's in those editions, I was like, oh, you just got the Star Wars name and you're just going to wring us dry, right?
Are they going to require me to sign up to a third party?
They might.
So, you know.
They're basically telling you to kill yourself.
They might as well.
That's what I heard.
Like, when you put these things in perspective, do you know what I mean?
I've just pulled up Twitter and Mikey T, friend, brother of the show, right,
Game of Giant.
He put a tweet about Helldivers. He said, "This Helldivers thing is insane." Sorry to go back again. Helldivers thing is insane. It's bad that there's no plan for countries who don't have PSN, which I hear, by the way, you can just select another country. But there's always the risk of if they find out, then they'll ban you for it. So, and it
sucks if a third party sign up bans you. That's it. You can't use the game somewhere else. Yeah.
Right. They should have left it after the issues. They should have left it after the issues at launch. Not gone back for months later. But so many companies require you to require it, and there's no backlash like this. Is it just that it's Sony or what? And it does feel like sometimes it's just Sony, that Sony tax right there.
That's it. It's the Sony tax.
Yeah.
But you can be the other guys and release nothing for 700 days. You can have your two biggest projects. One just completely come out broken. You know, Redfall doesn't work at all, and Starfield. Do people enjoy Starfield? Weirdly enough, the Starfield subreddit got on my feed.
Oh, yeah.
And there are people in there going, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, oh, it's cool that people are enjoying the game. It's dead, though. There's nothing in there. And we still hear about Cyberpunk still comes up on my feed. Right? Just random videos here and there. I see people playing it. Where is Starfield?
This game that took so long to make should have been a lasting impression.
It should have been a console pusher. It should have been oh man, Sony needs to watch out. That's the best they could do. Like, man, I'm not worried, you know? And in the worst way possible. Like, as a quote-unquote Sony pony, I should be worried.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Back to the PlayStation Showcase, though.
Yeah.
One thing that I am really looking forward to
Am I going to have to sign up to PSN to watch Showcase?
You are going to have to, unfortunately. Oh, there's a deal breaker. I'm sorry. Rioting online. Where can I post my negative review? That's going to be a running joke this episode, isn't it?
Going to have to, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 5 Pro. This has to be when they're going to announce it. All the indications from all the insiders and all the tech people are saying, like, it's in production, it's going. Devs have got the review kits already. The dev kits, they're already working hard on them.
That's an interesting one.
I think a holiday release is when it's going to happen. So it should be any moment now.
I wonder how much those dev kits make a difference. Because I still feel like, and I'm glad the PS5 Pro is coming. Still feel like mine. is barely warming up. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like my PS4 at this time in its life cycle, my PS4 was starting to feel it.
Yeah.
And I probably should have got the 5. I was just too lazy. Yeah. The Pro, sorry, I was just too lazy. My PS5 is fine.
Yeah.
There's no problems whatsoever. I still haven't cleaned it because the fans just don't kick on. Like I don't see the point.
That's what it's one of those things. It's like you're like those car maintenance people that's like, well, until it breaks down, why do I need to do anything?
It's definitely the wrong approach. But like, if the thing is,
I'm the same.
The fans,
my lawnmower, I bought a petrol one. I was like, oh, I'd like to do the maintenance on it.
Yeah.
I never done it.
What the thing is, the fan is preventative, meaning if it kicks on, it's preventing something from happening.
Yeah.
So once I hear that happen, I go, you know what? I'll clear out the dust and give it a helping hand. And this thing is behind a TV, the place is somewhere that never gets dusted. Don't hear it. So whereas I could always hear my PS4, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like once that kicks on, I'm like, okay, cool. First of all, it needs a cleaning. Second of all, maybe I should look into a PS5 Pro or Plus or whatever they're going to call it. But right now, like my point is, I'll be really interested to see if the 5 Pro sort of makes a difference at all, because I just don't feel like.
The only thing that I think it will do is, well, it's going to have the newer technology in terms of the PSSR, which just sounds like USSR, isn't it?
It's
Was
terrible.
it PlayStation Super Sampling Resolution, something like that? It's the DLSS equivalent, but for PlayStation, which was a game changer for Nvidia when they released it on their cards. So I imagine it's going to be a game changer for PlayStation on there. And I think it's just a one other way to get ahead of the competition, to pull out in front of them. So, and from what I'm seeing is that most of the other components are the same. So it's a way of selling a new console without having to change too many parts. I guess from a business point, it sounds good. I think it's going to be beneficial for the gamer just for that. If it's as revolutionary as DLSS is for Nvidia, I think it'll be quite a boost for the gamer.
That on its own, but also, and here's another sort of key thing, is supply. It's still a little bit difficult to get hold of a PS5. Like you can get them, but sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer. Some shops are still out of stock because it's the only console to buy that's worth buying. And they're not cheap, so hopefully by the time that comes out, the PS5 will drop in price by maybe £100.
I think it has actually dropped a little bit already.
So
I think it's at $350 you can get them for now.
I'm hoping if someone can get into a PS5 for like $299 or somewhere around there, $229, like no, $329, $229 or $329, somewhere around there. Like suddenly that's much more achievable versus like the $550 or whatever it was when we got ours. Like. Yeah, it's almost half, but it's like 60%. Yeah. And for the console that you're getting and all the games that are on there, like both God of Wars, Ghost of Tsushima, all of the Uncharted series, all of Horizon, like there's so many good games on it, which now you can pick up at such a reasonable price secondhand somewhere. Like you're really getting a lot for your money, even if you get a base PS5, because they're still fine.
No, they're fucking great. Fucking great.
Like, again, at this point in the life cycle, someone's like, I'm thinking about getting a PS4 because the Pro's coming out. What would you say? I'd say, no, get the Pro because my PS4 is suffering. Right now, I'd be like, get a 5. Get anyone you can get.
Yeah.
Whatever you get, it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. So, yeah.
Oh.
Although we do know if it has a disk drive, that'll kill sales as per Xbox's research.
Well, that's...
No one wants them.
The reason why people aren't buying this console is because it's got a disk drive in it.
So
Let's
stupid.
remove that, guys, and then they'll just fly off the shelf.
So dumb.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So dumb. Anyway, hopefully this showcase will reveal a lot of sort of long-awaited stuff. Ghost of Tsushima 2, PS5 Pro.
The God of War TV show. Because that has been announced. That was announced so long ago.
Yeah.
We need to get more information about it.
It's the one I'm worried about the most, which is, do you know what's ironic? Is I've said constantly, I say, well, Last of Us is just a zombie show, right? So we know those are going to work. Fallout's just a post-apocalyptic show. It's basically The Last of Us, but in the future and no zombies. It's not like they haven't made Vikings and like The Last Kingdom. We know those shows work. The problem is there's significant changes to that. This is the show I'm most worried about. That said, The Last of Us was fantastic. Fallout's been fantastic. And that's bridged both things. So Last of Us covered characters that we know that are being played. Fallout gives you free range. Both are brilliant. So it can be done. Could be done. I'm just worried.
I'm worried too. And it's so close to my heart. So
it is.
And all of my woodworking projects have some sort of God of War element incorporated into it. If they fuck up, if they tarnish the name of God of War, then I have to rip it all out and throw it away.
Do you know what's funny as well? Now I've had some time to reflect on these shows. I do think if they were crap, I would always just say, well, the game's good. So no matter how bad it is,
because it's the show, it's a little bit more detached, so you can make that easier.
Yeah.
Actually, you're pretty good at doing that for a lot of things. Actually, like Halo, they've only made 3 of them, right? Mass Effect, they only made.
Can we talk about shows being bad? Halo. Do you know what happens in Halo Season 1?
I only heard is it the first?
They killed Master Chief. In the final episode, they kill John, and Cortana pilots the suit with John's corpse inside of it. And then in Season 2, he's just alive again.
What?
Don't come at me. So Halo 1, 2, 3. I'll give you Reach as well. Good.
What?
I have beef. I have
What is
beef.
the deal?
I have beef. I have so much beef.
What?
I have so much beef. I have so much beef. I have so much beef.
Cortana's just going around being the Master Chief while John in there's just like.
She's just caught. Yeah. He's literally a skin suit, except he's not a suit. He's the thing in the suit. I hate it. So I'm fairly good at.
Put the body somewhere and be like, look, let's just not drag. It's starting to smell. Can we not drag?
Luckily, she has no smell sensors, so it doesn't matter. Also, that's so deeply offensive because they have this weird like not forbidden love, but like they can't ever be together, and it's very clear they're in love.
Yeah,
right. Like very clear from about probably halfway through the first game, they're starting to like vibe, which is funny because John is such a deeply wounded person, like like he's a. Sorry, I'm not going to get into Halo stuff, but like it bothers me. However, God of War tells a story that's so different to Halo. Yeah. Halo is ultimately an awesome military power fantasy, right? Yeah. Last stand against an alien foe, but we have the one thing that's better, right? God of War is ultimately, there's magic and stuff, but it's a father-son story. So if they ruin that, they could really...
TV shows have this weird ability, because like, with God of War, what makes it so cool is that Kratos is this immensely powerful being, and he's got all these issues that he works through, and he still is... Well, by God of War 2018, he's still a good guy in it, even though he doesn't really feel good because of the things he's done in the past. He doesn't give himself that title. It's great.
Good guy did bad stuff, sort of thing. Yeah.
And there are great other characters in it that are great in their own rights as well, and that don't take away from anyone else.
Definitely.
But TV shows tend to do this thing where they can only make one person good if they take away the goodness from someone else.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in 2024, the way that usually goes is let's take it away from the man. And let's give it to this woman now. And it's like, why do you have to do that? Why can't they be good?
So 2 perfect examples.
Everyone else does it. Why can't you do it?
Perfect examples of this being done wrong. Obi-Wan Kenobi show, where they tried to make Reva this incredible thing by having Obi-Wan not be great, even though he is great, and by artificially making her good, where actually they should have just leaned into her being a villain, and I would have been screaming, give me an Afro Reva show, like I'd have been all about that, but they didn't.
You just know that in the writer's room they were itching to try and make Darth Vader lesser, so they could make him.
I would have been so.
But they were like, but this is in the middle. He's great afterwards. How can we make him less? Because that fight that happens, that was a fucking fantastic fight, and I didn't think any less of Reva.
Agreed.
I was like, you're going up against Darth Vader.
It's Darth Vader.
You don't win against Darth Vader.
Anakin Skywalker. You didn't be Anakin Skywalker at peak Sith.
No, it's awful. Can't imagine. How'd they do that?
Yeah, crazy. No, so that exactly. Equally,
they were itching.
100%.
Let's make her beat Vader. She's the best.
Yeah, or like they have her like taunting Obi-Wan around those boxes, which by the way is a scene that I love. I thought it was actually one of her better scenes. But it's like, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the guy that beat Anakin. even out of practice, he, you know, maybe we shouldn't be like, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we shouldn't. And they should have made her a villain. They tried to make her not a villain at the end. They go, well, she was, and it was none of her decisions and stuff like. Now you take away all of her agency. On the other hand, Fallout did it really well, where there are 3 main characters. There's the ghoul guy and Max and Lucy.
Yeah.
Max and Lucy are fantastic.
Yeah.
They work together brilliantly. Each one of them is plenty flawed. And each one of them grows up not grows up, but is developed in their own separate direction that doesn't take away from either one, and then they lean on each other. It's brilliant.
Beautiful.
It's perfect. It's such good writing. It's such good writing. It's incredible, and they're so well acted and so. You should watch it. It's fantastic.
I might just binge it all in one day.
It's totally doable, and it's so good. It's so good.
Ah, okay.
Also, actually, talking about that show was really. Oh no, I can't. This would be a spoiler for you.
All right. Yeah, I'll do it.
I won't do it.
I'll tell you something funny. So you know, I've recently got into collecting adult Barbies.
Yes.
Because it's May the 4th, it was May the 4th yesterday. Obviously, the sites that sell these things did a big blowout thing. They're like, oh, Star Wars and whatnot. And they released some new things. Some cool stuff. They did like a Sith Day where they made, imagine Luke Skywalker with the cape that Darth Vader wears.
Yeah.
Some of the padding like his leg armor and the crotch armor and whatnot, and a belt with some little bits of lights on it. Okay. But that's it. So he looks dark. He's almost following in his father's footsteps.
Sort of like Empire.
Yeah, it was very cool stuff. And they did a Darth Maul edition. I was like, oh, these look so great. They were all reasonably priced, reasonable for action.
Yeah.
And then they did a Mace Windu one, and it was just Mace Windu. Just do that. Cool looking, fantastic.
I love Mace Windu.
The other one, those ones were like £220. The thing, no. Mace Windu's one was £700, simply because it's Samuel Jackson, and I was like, oh my god.
But it's Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. Did it have the purple lightsaber? And oh fuck! And
because these things are cool, they come with different attachments. So they got lightsabers that look like they're in motion, so they're like a little bit wider.
I like
they
that.
Do cool shit.
I tell you one thing, I would have probably sold me on that. This is so dumb, and I don't know why I like Afro so much. But if you'd had a head with Mace Windu as with the Afro as well, because I think is it him that voices Afro Samurai? I feel like he is. Voice of Afro Samurai. I think it's Samuel L. Jackson. This is it?
We'll have to bring Samuel Jackson down with anime.
Yes, it is. It is. So, I knew it was. I would just the thing about that aesthetic. I don't know, man. Anyway, 700 is a lot, but I mean, it's Mace Windu.
It is Mace Windu.
Which is ironic, isn't it? Because I feel like, what was a Darth Maul? What did Darth Maul?
Darth Maul was like £220, something like that.
What about Vader? I'm sure there's
there was a Vader one, but it was out of stock by the time I got there. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
What was really funny was before this happened, the Vader one came out before May the 4th.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where they were shipping around about May the 4th. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
And there was a huge delay on the subreddit. There's like a big controversy going on. There's like, the Vader one's delayed. What's going on? And then the official account that was Sideshow was giving away a Vader toy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. But then all the replies underneath was like, hey, can you give us the ones that we pre-ordered before you start giving them away, please? Just cracking up.
I'm stupid. I'm so glad the price is this high. I just Googled like Vader 1/6 model, and the first link is like $2,500.
Ooh, baby.
But oh my God.
Is it gorgeous? Is it the best thing ever? Is it sliced bread 2.0?
Yeah. Oh God, I shouldn't have done that. This was a mistake. God damn it. Yeah, this was a huge mistake. I get the Barbies. I get them. The only thing is, what do you have to do with Wonder Woman? What's different between Wonder Woman and the others? Why do you tell people about that?
Is it chilly in here? Should I turn down the AC?
No, I think it's fine.
Right, you do have to style her hair.
Do you know what you should do?
It went from a cool action figure thing that was hard to explain to now we're just playing with Barbies.
I actually have a request.
God.
Why? And I would pay for it after I've made all my sales off Steam. Is get her like a fluffy custom made dressing gown.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then put rollers in her hair. Like a pink fluffy, do you know what I mean?
This is Wonder Woman between saving the world.
That would be so funny.
Oh my god.
That would be amazing. I wish I could make stuff like that. I wish you could make like props and stuff.
I'll tell you something funny. Because you remember we said like her face doesn't look very...
That
accurate?
isn't Gal Gadot.
It's a strange one.
Like
right?
Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, that looks like that's them in 1/6.
There's a couple of Facebook groups that I joined that do custom work. Some people
use Facebook.
No, I know. I wasn't on it and I had to join it because the people that I'm in the community with, they're like... Facebook
You had to join a third party thing. Did you have to give your email address?
I did have to. It was a ball ache. I was honestly... I felt like someone stabbed me in the stomach.
Did you refund
I
from
refunded
Facebook?
Facebook.
Yeah.
I just did it and I didn't care. I joined a couple of Facebook groups. Some of these people just show off stuff, but some of these people sell stuff.
Yeah.
And one of these guys was, funnily enough, just showing off a couple of heads that he was making of Gal Gadot, different poses and stuff like that, different facial expressions. I was like, this is literally perfect. I need one of these. Liked one of them. I said, hey, my friend, how much is it? He said, I'll send you DM details. And I was like, oh.
Yeah,
that sounds like it's going to be bad.
That sounds like it's 300 a piece for the head, but they're realistic. Yeah. No.
725. And I was like, for a head! I respect your art, sir. That's outside of my budget. Continue.
Does it? And you also suck my dick?
I was like, what? Crazy.
Look, I also respect handmade stuff. I get it.
I couldn't do it.
But no, thank you.
No, thank you.
That's probably a bit too much. Equally, you can't get a low quality product or that will completely ruin the Barbie. You know, it's going to have to be really good because the rest of it's really good. You know, you can't just have like those pictures where it's like somebody starts on a great horse and it's like a kid doodles the rest of it. You have to get something good.
All right. That's all the topics that we have for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode. If you want to hear more from us, you want to hear more fun topics, you can head over to Conbrosations After Dark. Link will be in the description. To our Conbrosations podcast, which we'll be recording right after this. It'll be quite fun. You can go check that out. All right. I'll catch you in the next one, bro.
In literally 2 seconds. Yeah.